Good morning. How are we doing today? Okay, so today we're going to continue from the conversation we were having last week about artificial intelligence. Last week we were able to lay the introduction, talked a bit about what this whole artificial intelligence and AI revolution is about. We highlighted a bit about generative AI, which is kind of the AI that's created the kind of buzz that is driving the whole AI conversation currently, right? So previously we've had other AI stuff, robotics and all, but with generative AI coming on the scene, that's created some kind of buzz that everybody now is interested. So today, really, we're going to talk about the AI subcategories, their importance, impact, and the application they have now and in the future. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about are predictive, which means it's just people's prediction. There's possibility that it could happen the way it's said. There's possibility that, well, it could happen, but with a little tweak on how it's going to be. Even there's also the pros and the cons part, which in everything we also have to be keeping tabs on that. So as you can see from the content, I've already said we're going to talk about the importance of AI, what generative AI is and what it holds for us now, and then we'll just look at the different professions where these AIs are going to be impactful and all that. So the first subcategory of AI we're going to be looking at is generative AI. Of course, it has to be the first. We're going to see most of us know for generative AI is the ones you have on your chat bots, like your WhatsApp chats, your X or Twitter chats, Google, Gemini, right? All those are generative AI. So generative AI, like generative, so this makes it simple. It helps you generate stuff, right? Could be text, image, or even music. The thing about generative AI is that it mimics human thoughts or human processes. So it takes existing data, existing knowledge, and kinds of uses it to create a new something looking like a new information. You understand? The importance of this AI is playing a huge role in media and entertainment, in marketing, right? So for instance, you can use generative AIs now to create ad copies and different copies, social media posts. You could even use it to create content, you could use it to write stuff. So these are the areas where generative AI is showing its strengths, you understand, and it's making a lot of things easy. It also enables coding and video creation. We've heard of Veo by Google. That's also generative AI. So tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Sora are all powered by generative AI. So generative AI transforms industry, or is transforming industry, including education, product design, you understand, and you can understand why. So the possibilities it raises are numerous, right? But where it creates challenges is in IP rights. So people might find it difficult now to own something solely, because you might create something and somebody mimics it, or the AIs mimic it, or somebody uses AI to mimic it. For instance, there were stuff where people went to go and create rap songs using Eminem's voice tone and all that. So I could create a song mimicking Jay-Z or MI or Whiskey or Burna Boy, and then put it out there. It's my song. They can't sue me per se. It's all the challenges it can create. Then sometimes part of the challenge is that some people will not do the hard work. They wait for some other person to do it. They use AI and just reshuffle that stuff, and AI looks like it created something new, but you can see the print of what you've done all over that stuff. Maybe it could be an ad copy, it could be a post you created with your own brain or with your own experience. Somebody just takes it, tells one of the AIs, see this thing, please rephrase it for me or put it in another way, add examples, add experience, but it's not your thoughts. So IP rights, intellectual rights and issues, those are things. Then ethics is another challenge that generative AI can bring. But the potentials are numerous because there are a lot of stuff we could do faster and quicker, even now and in the future, right? Previously, if you want to make a search, you go online, do a search, look at different options, you try to read and see for the answer. Now with generative AI, like ChatGPT, so you do the search, you just ask a question, it does the search for you online, brings the exact answer, so you don't even need to start reading, wasting a lot of time. So these are potentials that it holds. Now the next one we're going to be talking about is machine learning. So machine learning actually has been here before Gen AI, right? Machine learning where you use stuff to study, understudy people, study processes, and then try to use that thing to predict behaviors and all of those things, make predictive decisions, right? So you can learn from data. This is very profound in, let's say, in finance, and so when we talk about finance, we're also talking about stock markets and the rest. So people have been using machine learning for a while to predict how stock market trends will go, how investments go, so they could interpolate data from different years and be like, okay, when the market moved like this at so time, it's corrected in this manner or in that manner, and then they use that to make predictions. So machine learning is more about learning patterns. Generative AI does not learn patterns. Machine learning learns patterns. It's kind of looks at pattern. Oh, for instance, when a black man, I'm just using for instance now, when a black man was president of the USA for the first time, so it could, if in the future, let's say 20 years time, another black person becomes president, you could use machine learning to be like, oh, when a black person was president, these are kind of the trends that happen in the world, and then machine learning could start using, oh, it's so country, this is how they behave, this is were they acceptable to the black person, so it could just be making some crazy predictions. But this is like me trying to bring it down so that we don't talk too technical and technical, just the base, the peripheral, you get, that we can understand. So, but in the core of machine learning is a form of engineering of models, right? Allowing system to learn patterns from data and improve over time, right? It could be used for fraud detection. It could be used for recommendation systems. Most of us, I don't know, our DSTVs now use machine learning. I don't know if you know. So there's a blue button in your remotes if you have the new DSTV remote. If you click on it, your DSTV will recommend channels that you should be watching or channels that they think you like, and that's based on the things you'll be watching over time. Then it's also interesting to know that your social media platforms and YouTube, they use a combination of NLP, which is the next one we're going to talk about, and machine learning to make predictions for you for the kind of content you like. So they'll be like, okay, these 4 people, 5 of us here now, these 5 people are friends. This person loves this content. This person watches and likes the content. There's likelihood this person will learn it or will also like it. So machine learning kind of tries to understand, Eudora watched a Calabari themed video and she watched it 3 times. You understand? For her to watch it 3 times, Richard has watched an Equerry themed video before. It's possible that Eudora was also like an Equerry themed video because they are friends. The next thing connects. The next recommendation will not be that content. So this is how machine learning works. It's also used for stock forecasting, which I've mentioned, diagnostic, that's for healthcare. So these are areas where these things are applicable. So is really applicable for data decision making and automation. Where challenges could come will be over reliance of it, and maybe that's pretty much the major one. And so, for instance, now it's used for forecasting, like I mentioned, in finance. So you also have to be careful because those areas have consequences if something goes wrong with your model or with your process. Then the next one we're going to talk about is natural language processing, which is NLP. NLP enables AI to understand, interpret, and generate human feeling. So this is the part where I think a lot of people have been saying, would they connect Gen AI with NLP in a way so that when the AIs are making or are responding to you, for instance, there's a question you ask ChatGPT now to tell you, I'm not a human, I don't have feelings. So if you ask it, okay, try if you have your AI, say, how are you feeling today? Most of them will tell you, I'm not a human, I don't have feelings. So we're looking at scenarios where your AIs can become your agents, more like an artificial PA. So we probably are getting to the time in your life where every individual will have a PA, but not a human. That PA will be a gen. So as you have Alexa uses NLP. Hope you guys know. So your Alexa uses NLP. So there's machine learning coded with NLP combined together to give Alexa. So that's why you can tell Alexa, I'm not feeling good today, and Alexa will be like, how do you feel? Are you feeling? What happened? Did your girlfriend break your heart? So that's NLP. So they've trained Alexa to know that when humans say they are not feeling good, or when a human say my girlfriend is not picking my call, so Alexa will start using all the predictions to say, oh, did you offend her? Did she offend you? Did you people quarrel? So Alexa has already been trained for all the possible things available that can make a girlfriend not pick a boyfriend's call and how it's going to impact. So that's NLP for you. That's again me bringing it down. The most important thing is just to get the basic. There are other higher methods of putting it. It could be used in chatbots, you understand. So sometimes you've had frustrations when you go to company sites. Let's say it could be Amazon. You're trying to chat with the self-service, and they're not giving. You'll be like, you are not telling me, you're not telling me what I need, and the chatbot will be like, sorry, how can I help you? Like from where you are and where the chatbot is so far. But a lot of other companies have improved so much that even their chatbots are now coded with NLP, that they know when you're frustrated, you understand, and then they can now say, oh, since this person has gone to say, do I transfer the person to a real human? It seems I'm not getting. So, but the thing will just be talking like a machine, and it keeps getting you infuriated. So it could also be used for translators. For some of us who are looking to make global impact, you might not necessarily need to learn all the languages anymore in the world. Perhaps now when you want to make a public speech, you are done with your speech, you've written your speech in whatever language you're good at, you feed it to your system. So maybe when you're presenting in public, the thing will be reading in the language, and maybe all you just have to do is probably pronounce, you understand. Or if that's not the case, you just write your speech in your language, you convert it to the language you want to present in, and then you present, and then the people read. So this is how NLP, and it also adds those touch of human. So sentiment analysis, you can virtual assistants, which is pretty much what I talked about, that we get to the point where every human might have a PA. I don't even think I won't call them virtual assistant, because at that point it will not be virtual assistant. You don't need to be virtual. Your AI is just with you, just the same way you carry your emails about, and your WhatsApp and all of that. So NLP is critical for bridging human-computer communication. I told you guys that the core of NLP is that it's trying to mimic human feelings. You understand why gens don't have human feeling? Machine learning, there's no need for human feeling. NLP is a part of AI that is infusing human feelings. So that's the most important thing you should know. NLP, natural language processing, is a part of AI that infuses human feelings. So every other part of AI can exist and incorporate NLP in it so that it appeals to the humans. So the next one we're going to be looking at is computer vision. Computer vision. Computer vision enables machines to interpret and make decisions based on visual inputs. So why gens use codes, right? Or the code could either be in text now. Computer vision, you could give it a picture and it will study the picture and give you an idea of what the picture. So it makes interpretation based on visual input. It could be a chart, it could be an organogram, it could be a normal picture, you understand, and it will do something. The Ghibli images, a lot of people are creating this period where they'll say, oh, here's an image, I want you to, you understand. So that gives you an idea of what that could be, you understand. And they'll say, oh, I was frowning in this picture, can you make me smile and put me under put me in the Bahamas and all of those stuff. So it's pretty much so. The funny thing about all of this is that many people are looking at all of this as separate components, but the truth is that we're even getting to a world where all these categories are one component. Like you can't separate to say, oh, that's where the world is going to. In my thoughts, that's what I think. That's where the world is going to. Where you have your NLP, you have your machine learning, everything in one. Like everything in one, and it's exciting that we're excited to see where all of this is leading us to, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't take so long for us to get there. And I just want to see how the world shapes and all of those things. It's quite intriguing. So computer vision can be used in health, right, where you could use images, and you understand the scans, and then it predicts whatever is happening and all of those things. I remember when I was about to enter secondary school and we were asked to do a scan, and I think from the scan they were like, I had cold when I was small, something like that. So computer vision is a way where I don't even have to be wherever. I could just do a scan, send over to the hospital, wherever, and they just use that scan, do some predictions, send me some recommendation. We could also do it now. Your HMO apps now, you can converse with an online doctor. So nowadays they can just, oh, what is wrong with you? Okay, snap it and show me, and then you just snap and show. Okay, so that's for computer vision. The next we're going to look at is expert systems. So that mimics decision making for humans. Who remembers another subcategory of AI that mimics human decision? Okay. NLP mimics feelings, not necessarily decision.
Okay, decision.
Yeah. Machine learning. Yeah. So NLP is the feeling. When we're talking about the part of AI that mimics feelings, is NLP. You understand? Then the part that talks about vision, or should we say imagery, is computer vision. Then the part that mimics AI in physical form is robotics. So hope we can get the three. The part of AI that brings AI into physical form. Okay, so one of the, for expert systems, some of the places they come in handy is in legal systems, right? And we can understand why. Another place is engineering, troubleshooting, and then medicals, right? So expert systems offer reliability and consistency in high stakes and regulated fields. So kind of those systems where some of their decision making feels like regulated based on, for instance, in law there's something they call canons, or canons of law. So there are certain things that dictate the kind of decision that could be taken on different forms. So expert systems can be trained and can be used to mimic decision making, and also maybe um, predict actions. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about, I've touched a little, is robotics. I pointed out that robotics is the physical form of AI. Every other form almost is intangible. Robotics is a part of AI that you can touch and you can feel. The other parts of AI, you rarely touch or feel them. Does that make sense? So I think that's one way to describe robotics. So it combines AI with mechanical systems to enable machines to sense, plan, and act. It can be used in manufacturing. So here are the industries: manufacturing, healthcare, logistics. You understand, and exploration. So who knows how it can be applied in manufacturing?
How robotics
It can be applied in manufacturing.
can help fix cars.
Yeah, so not only cars, anything manufacturing, could be cars. So you can create robotics that will be used to do some of those things as opposed to what humans are doing. What one human can do, you can create a robot that does multiple. So how about healthcare? Who knows how robotics can be applied in healthcare? There are many ways. Think about stuff that goes on in the yeah, and which one do it could even come in delivery. You don't think so? It could come, yeah, it can come in delivery. How about we have robots that when there's an emergency, instead of going to carry stretcher, there's an robot they activate to go and carry the person. So what you need is stretcher and four more people to be pushing. So there's just a robot that can carry the person and take to what this or what, and the robots just, so there are a lot of this, like I said, just think about human things in natural and how robots come in. Another area I can come in is in logistics. Who has an idea how robotics, Eudora, how can robotics come in logistics? Yeah. Also, for warehousing, so let's say for instance, Jumia or Amazon, they have a warehouse where they store a lot of these things. As the shelves get higher, humans have to now start climbing the ladder. It becomes more dangerous. I'm just, for instance, so you could have robots that do the arrangements. You understand, totally removing or eliminating all those hurdles. Then some heavy stuff that you get at some point, you need robots that are trained and has the mass to carry all of those things. So these are, we could even have fully automated warehouse where everything, the robots are the ones arranging, bringing out, you humans do. So that's part of how it makes logistics. They will even load the truck, you understand, and all that. So in space exploration, I think we know of this one a lot. And so when we talk of robotics, let's not just only imagine that it's a robot built in human form that will be tall. You understand? At least the first, when a dog was first sent to space, if it's in this time, it would have not been a real dog. It should have maybe been a robotic dog. So we have all of those where you build a robot fish or a robot stuff sent to underwater. It has a camera on it and it will be viewing different environments, and then they are picking. So in the past, we would have used human divers to go into those layers or want to see what's underwater. Now we use robots. So for space, for exploration, water, underwater, and then for spatial exploration, there are some stuffs now we don't necessarily need to send humans anymore. We could use robots to do that. So that's why I said robotics is AI, the physical form of AI. Every other form is more of software. Robotics is the hardware. So The next subcategory is reinforcement learning. This is where we use agents to learn, interact with environments. I think we have talked a lot about agents, and we need to start beginning to understand what agents are. The simplest form of understanding agents is like your Alexa. Alexa is an agent. Let me not even say Alexa is an agent. You can give it instruction, it tell you what to do. Over time, Alexa knows what and what. So reinforcement learning too follows the same pattern. So a key in training system to play games, to manage resources, or control robots. So a lot of agents that will be built in the future would work on reinforcement learning. So it's important for solving complex sequential decision problems that are under uncertainties, right? So the next we're going to talk about speech and audio processing. We're going to just touch that later. It enables machines to understand and generate spoken language. So just like generative AI allows machines to understand and then generate written or text-based informations. Now, speech and audio processing does that and generates spoken language and audio signals. It can be used in voice assistants, transcription services, speaker recognition, accessibility tools. So already we're seeing that in public speaking is going to be impactful, in media is going to be impactful. We should know now that some TV stations now have AI newscasters, right? So speech and audio processing is part of the things these things work on. So you could train it to use a particular voice tone when the news is tragic. You train it using speech and audio processing to know how to tone down its voice when talking about a tragic news, a news that creates excitement. Could be trained to do all of those things. So you could also train it to use or speak in different language, or languages rather now. So this is it. Planning and scheduling. This is also for administrative and management, air traffic. That's also it. So cognitive AI is a combination of AI, ML, NLP, and more. So it supports decision making, mimicking human reasoning and understanding. So cognitive is used in healthcare, where you have physiotherapy and psychology too. I think they will use cognitive computing a lot. Finance also, and then customer service. So these are areas where all of these things hold weight, and they are going to come